We are live, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. So let's start the meeting off with, let's play some ball. Opening day. Used to be a real favorite of mine. Oh, well. It's my pleasure to call the Newark City Council meeting to order, today being March 27th. Let's stand and say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show that all members of the City Council are present this evening. The first item on the agenda is the introduction of our newest employee, Ivan Nguyen. Ivan, would you join me at the podium? I'm sorry. And I even put on my reading glasses. Ivy, welcome. Yikes, it's going to be one of those nights. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure, as you know, to introduce new employees, especially when I have half the Parks Department, Recreation Department here to join in this celebration. Ivan Nguyen grew up in Fremont. City manager, did you take names? And grew up in Fremont and joined the city of Newark in 2017 as a temporary part-time employee at the Silliman Aquatic Center. She spent 4 years as the swim instructor and senior lifeguard while attending John F. Kennedy High School. In 2021, Ivy left the Newark Recreation Department to focus on her studies and explore opportunities related to her major. Ivy returned in 2022 for a Health and Human Services internship at the Newark Senior Center, which is where we know each other.
Bingo.
Ivy is very helpful to me when it comes to calling bingo at the Senior Center. Don't make mistakes when you're calling bingo at the Senior Center. They take it very seriously. During her 4-month internship, Ivy gained valuable experience and compiled an extensive senior resource file. It was there that she discovered her passion for recreation and continued to work and gain experience in various part-time temporary roles at the Newark Senior Center. In 2023, Ivy earned her bachelor's degree in public health with a minor in nutrition and food sciences from San Jose State University. She's excited to apply her education and passion in a full-time role with the Recreation and Community Services Department. Ivy enjoys engaging with and caring for seniors at the Newark Senior Center, as well as assisting with community events like Family Day at the Park, Halloween, and the annual tree lighting. Outside of work, Ivy loves spending time with family and friends, shopping, traveling, discovering new cities in California, attending concerts, and sipping on matcha. Is that right? Matcha?
Yeah, matcha.
Hey, don't laugh at the mayor. There will be plenty of opportunities to do that for the rest of the evening. Oh, by the way, coffee or boba. She also enjoys hiking and walking with her dog, Bimo. That's not the BMO that we all hear on TV. This is a different BMO. So welcome our newest administrative support specialist to Ivy Nguyen. Sounds like you want to make a presentation? Thought for a moment those flowers might be for the mayor. Wow, that was disappointing. Congratulations, Ivy. You work in a great department. I have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to see the folks at the Parks and Rec Department on a regular basis as part of the senior program and other, we mentioned the bingo and things of that nature. They're very caring individuals who not only care about our seniors, but all of our residents within the community. When I take my grandkids over to the Silliman Center to go swimming over there, that place is packed with families and kids. And it's really, truly one of the big jewels in our community is the recreation facilities that we provide to our community. So congratulations to the Parks Department. Keep up the good work. You're really appreciated. I hope you know that. The next item on the agenda is the presentation on Eden INR on the 211 Information and Referral Services. Gentali Julie Ratwat is the interim director. Please join me in welcoming her. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Gitanjali Rawat, and I am currently the co-interim executive director at Eden INR, and I'm here to talk about our 211 program. So that's a photograph of our staff at a staff retreat last year. Eden INR, INR stands for Information and Referral, and our mission is to link people and resources. Eden INR has been in existence since 1976, serving Alameda County residents with the larger mission of working towards a community that's empowered with information and is connected to resources so that all people can obtain health, happiness, hope, and improve livelihoods. Eden INR applied to be a 211 operator in Alameda County and went live on July 1st, 2007, and the 211 line has been operating nonstop ever since. A little bit about 211. So 211 is a 24/7 call center. We connect people to the resources that they need around the clock. We have multilingual staff at our call center, but we also have access to a language line that connects us to translators of up to 300 languages. So really anybody can call us at any time, and we have staff that assess callers' needs and give referrals from 2 databases. So one, we have a resource database that has over 2,500 human service programs. This database is updated and maintained on a regular basis. And we also have a housing database with over 78,000 housing units, and I'll speak about that on the next slide. If somebody wants to just text us, anybody who's in Alameda County can text the number 898211 anytime, Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and they will get connected with a live phone specialist who can chat with them via text and give them resources that way. And lastly, for somebody who doesn't want to talk to a live person or text with a live person, the resource database that I mentioned is available at 211alamedacounty.org. At any time on the internet, free of cost, you can access that resource database if you don't want to speak with a live specialist. I did want to spend a little time talking about our housing database. We're one of the only 211s in the state, actually, that does have a separate housing database. And this was developed way back in 1989 after the Loma Prieta earthquake. And really what this database is it has all of the affordable housing units across Alameda County and certain neighboring counties as well, which is updated monthly by a dedicated housing team. We, in addition to affordable housing units, we also have below market rate units, stuff like rooms that can be shared. So just any sort of option for folks that are calling in for housing information and resources. Unsurprisingly, 211 gets a little less than half of their calls that are housing related. Housing is a big need for people across the county. And so, really this housing database serves as an opportunity to do some housing problem solving for callers, to show them the options that are available other than, immediate shelters or the affordable housing units that usually have long wait lists. And again, anybody can access this at any time at acousingchoices.org. And we've been seeing a huge increase in the web traffic to this database as well. So there's definitely value that this database has for the community. Sorry for this graphic visual, but I do want to talk about 211 during a time of disaster. And Eden INR has a designated seat at the County Emergency Operations Center. So really what this means is when the county activates the EOC, we are able to send a staff member to the EOC office, which is in Dublin. And what this allows us is access to the public information officer and access to the information that we need to send out to our 211 callers. So what's the kind of information that we get? Information like emergency shelters, evacuation routes, where to access food and water, open hospitals, how to locate a missing loved one, and information like that. We played an important part during the Oakland Ghost Ship Warehouse fire. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I think that was one time where the EOC was active for months on end. And if you all remember, during the early days of the pandemic, information was fast changing, and there was a lot of misinformation out there. So we had staff members actually that were at the EOC round the clock. We were getting information from the PIO and then sending that information back to our call center. And our call center staff was sharing that information with incoming callers. We also help with mutual assistance. So what this means is if 211 in another county has an active disaster going on and they need support because of the number of calls coming in, we are able to help them. So very recently, 211 Butte and Glenn County needed support for the Big Park fire, and so we were able to assign a call specialist and support residents in those counties. And should we kind of be in an emergency situation ourselves, we can call on our partner 211s to support us with mutual assistance as well. So I think I mentioned earlier that housing is one of the main reasons why people call us, and so I wanted to speak a little bit about the coordinated entry system. We are part of the county's coordinated entry system, and we're one of the main entry points for anybody who's seeking immediate shelter and wants to access resources that way. I did want to speak a little bit about 211's role in the coordinated entry system because there is a lot of confusion, and I just wanted to kind of talk about what it is that we do and how we refer callers who need immediate shelter. So anybody who calls 211 seeking to access the CES system, we have to screen them for HUD's definition of literal homelessness, meaning we have to ask them where they slept last night. If they say they slept in a place that was not safe for human habitation, then we're able to make a warm transfer to an access point or a housing resource center. But again, we're not able to kind of immediately link them to a shelter bed through this process, but we're able to, warm transfer them to an HRC that will be able to do an assessment and support the caller further. There are very few shelters that we can refer callers to directly. Most of these are domestic violence shelters, so it's kind of hard if a caller calls in to kind of give them an immediate resource for that night. So that's something, that's where the confusion is in terms of how 211 can support. But for the shelters that we can refer callers to directly, we call them up in the morning and in the afternoon to get an idea of their bed availability, so we're able to kind of directly refer callers that way. But for the coordinated entry system, we do have to ask them where they slept last night and then triage accordingly. We do get a lot of non-literally homeless callers, so folks who are couch surfing. Unfortunately, this doesn't qualify as a criteria to kind of warm transfer these callers. So we do housing problem solving. Like I mentioned, we have the choices database. We try to kind of actively work with the caller and give them some kind of resources that they can work with. Particularly, we do have callers that have some sort of income, and we try to work with the information they give us to refer them accordingly. A few other 211 programs that I wanted to talk about. So we are part of the statewide Trusted Messenger Network. So this is really an outreach program to reach vulnerable populations. So we've been helping the community prepare for extreme heat. Last summer, we did a lot of active kind of outreach about the dangers of extreme heat and how to kind of prepare for it and take care of community members. Currently, we're working with callers on the need of I-10. Any caller who calls in seeking tax help, we do educate them on the need of an I-10 if they're eligible for it. And we're also referring two behavioral health apps that the state has asked us to outreach, and both are for minors. So we've been kind of sharing this with anybody who has any kind of caller who calls in who has family members who are minors. We are able to kind of give out that information as well. We also have a Medi-Cal and CalFresh enrollment program. So any caller who calls us and tells us that they don't have either Medi-Cal or CalFresh, we offer to transfer them to our benefits specialist, who then fills out the paperwork for them in BenefitsCal and is able to submit the application for them. So that's another kind of program that we have. And then lastly, you may have heard of the public safety power shutoffs. We have a contract with PG&E, and we are proactively asking members if they're prepared for a power outage that can last up to 3 days, and particularly folks who are in the access and functional needs community. The access and functional needs community is quite a large one, so it's anybody with a disability or an English language learner or a pregnant mom. All of these kind of encompass the AFN community. And for folks who are not prepared, we can connect them to our care coordinator, who helps them kind of develop a safety plan and can refer them to resources such as emergency batteries if they're eligible for these programs. A little bit about our statistics from fiscal 24. So we had over 65,000 total contacts. Contacts refers to phone calls and text messages. Newark had about 708. And then we gave out over 154,000 total referrals in the whole county. For Newark, you can see the number was a little less than 2,000. And our caller demographics for Newark pretty much mirror our county demographics. 68% female. We have about close to 50% who identify as living with a disability. About 26% are mothers with minor children. 12% are seniors. So we're definitely seeing the percentage of seniors slowly ticking up year on year. So we are seeing a larger number of seniors call us. And as always, 99% of our callers are low, very low, or extremely low in income. And then lastly, this is a slide of the top needs of all of our callers. Like I mentioned, housing, shelter is one of the top needs why people call us. Substance use disorder comes up as second because we do proactive outreach. We have a contract with the California Department of Public Health to ask every caller if they smoke or vape and if they're interested in quitting. And so we connect them with the California Smokers Helpline. And so that's why, substance use comes up as number two. It is a very successful program, actually, statewide. And we've been able to do a lot of outreach with very vulnerable populations. So that's another contract that we are also a part of. Disaster services comes up as 3 because of the proactive outreach, again, that we do. We're asking folks if they're prepared for long power outages. So that's why it kind of shows up as number 3. But other than that, folks are calling in for assistance with utilities, assistance with legal services, food, material goods, public assistance programs, individual and family support services. And do you have any questions for me?
Great. Thank you for the presentation. Is there anybody in the audience that has questions? If not, I'll turn it over to my colleagues. This is an informational item. Questions? Yes, Councilmember Jorgensen.
Yeah, you had mentioned about texting 211, and it seemed interesting to me. You mentioned that it was just for Alameda County. So, for example, I work in Santa Clara County. If I was at work and texted 211 something, what would happen?
It would, so 898-211 is used by 211s across the state, so you would likely get connected with United Way Bay Area that operates 211 for Santa Clara. But you have to be in Alameda County to text us.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it will locate me and send me
Yes.
to the resources where I am
Exactly.
currently, not necessarily where I live.
And
Okay.
same for when you call 2112. As long as you're in Alameda, you'd be directed to our call
So
center.
that goes, if I called 211 from Santa Clara County, I would be connected to 211 Santa Clara County?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Other questions, comments? Councilmember Grindal.
Yes. So, first of all, thank you for the work you're doing. It's very important. Having those resources out there, if people can't find them, is useless. So, really appreciate the work that you're doing. So that's very important. So, what funding? How is 211 funded, and how are some of your programs funded, just generally? My concern is, given the wrecking ball that the present administration and Elon Musk are trying to take to our government and to our economy too, is the funding behind your work at risk? Do we need to be aware and watching for that?
Yes, so most of our funding does come from government contracts. We have mostly contracts with cities, county contracts, some state, very few federal, very little kind of private foundation money that comes to us. So yes, we're actually in a very risky position right now. We actually recently had to lay off quite a few of our staff members. A lot of our contracts have just either sunsetted and not being renewed. And so, we had to kind of, lay off some of our staff, and we are currently actively seeking funding opportunities and also working on our new fiscal 26 budget with the very real reality that we may need to cut services, for our 211 call center as well. So that's definitely a big risk and something that we're actively, trying the best we can in terms of trying to get new funding, speaking with, our various kind of contract partners, talking about the importance of 211. But yes, it's a very real reality. And, honestly, like the stuff at the federal level hasn't even reached us yet. It will at some point, and it's going to be even worse. But it's a grim reality right now.
Well, thank you. And please keep us informed through our city manager of how we can coordinate and work together to make sure the service continues. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Other questions, comments? I think 211 is one of the most underrated, underutilized services in the county. I've been a long time proponent of 211 because when you look at your website and the long list of services provided, there's so much information on there that can benefit so many members of our community. And to provide it, I think you indicated, in over 300 languages, means we're capturing everybody within the county at some point. So I'll continue to advocate strongly for 211, and it's simply a matter of just getting the word out to the community about all the benefits that 211 provides to our communities. My only question regarding the folks that are homeless, you mentioned that you will receive contact from folks that are seeking some housing assistance. On any given night, how many housing units might be available for those that are homeless that are seeking some form of shelter?
So the direct shelter beds that I was talking about, there are very few of them because the rest of the shelters are through the coordinated entry system. Anywhere from like 2 to 7 beds a night is what we get. More likely the lower number than the higher number. So there is definitely, very few direct beds we can refer to currently.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for all of our cities in the county to come up with a strategy that provides additional bed opportunities for folks. Most folks that are homeless want to be sheltered. They don't want to be on the street for a variety of reasons. So the more we can do as a governmental agency to support affordable housing and those in need, the sooner we'll reduce that homeless population around the county. Again, thank you for your services. We appreciate you. We'll continue to do our best to get the message out. I think periodically, Mr. Benoon, I think we put information in our quarterly newsletter about the benefits of 211. I have to believe that when we send out our senior newsletter, I imagine there's information in there as well. So we'll continue to advocate and advertise the benefits of 211, and again, appreciate your presentation this evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you. Many benefits available through 211. Just got to keep getting that word out. It's one of those things, when you continually talk about things, it'll certainly at some point resonate with members in the community about the importance. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now at the public comment section. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak under public comment on items that are not on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we'll move forward to the consent calendar, which consists of the following. Number 1, approval of the audited demands. 2, approval of the February 13, 2025 minutes. 3, adopt a resolution approving a side letter to the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Newark and the Newark Police Department. I'm sorry. Any of my colleagues want to pull any item off the consent calendar? Before I finish reading them? City Manager, do you want to pull any item?
Not this evening.
Okay, then the last one, as I mentioned, side letter between the City of Newark and the Newark Police Association to amend Section XX111, which is 23, Special Assignment Pay. If there's no comments or questions, can I get a motion and a second, please?
I'll move approval.
By Councilmember Grindal. Second. By Councilmember Jorgens. Please vote. Find my reading glasses. And that passes 5 ayes. Thank you. There are no public hearings or other business. City Manager, updates.
Yes, good evening, Your Honor. Council. Two quick updates. First, the city is hosting a basic first aid training on Wednesday, April 9th from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. This will occur at the Clark W. Redeker Newark Senior Center. It's hosted in partnership with the Newark and Union City Community Emergency Response Team, otherwise known as CERT. More information is on the city's website, and attendees are encouraged to register using the Eventbrite link that is on our website. Secondly, the city clerk is accepting applications to fill an upcoming vacancy on the Measure GG Oversight Committee, which the mayor will speak to in a moment. Applications are due by Wednesday, April 9th, before 2 p.m. Applications must be submitted in person to the city clerk over here at City Hall. Applicants must be current Newark residents and at least 18 years old. And again, more information is available on the city's website. And last, Your Honor, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we do have some materials related to 211 on the city's website, and we'll continue to push the information out. And the city is a financial partner with 211. We contribute approximately $20,000 to $25,000 per year. So.
And one comment I forgot to make, unfortunately, is as we look forward to opening up our resource center, let's certainly make an opportunity to invite folks from 211 to come in and participate.
They were invited to our listening session and been active in our surveys.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Anything further, Mr. City Manager?
Not this evening, Your Honor.
Great.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to City Council matters. Item number 1 is a resolution approving reappointments to the Senior Advisory Committee and the Measure GG Oversight Committee. 1, the members of the Newark Senior Citizen Standing Advisory Committee have 2-year terms that expire on April 14, 2025. Kathleen Lemos, Glenn Wickheiser, Eileen McDonald, Linda Mapes, and Shirley Ferrante have each requested a reappointment of 2 years. So I would ask, we need a motion and a second, right, Mr. Manoon, to get those approved. Thank you. In addition, we have members of the Measure GG Oversight Committee have 4-year terms that expire on April 12, 2025. Jim Lola has requested a reappointment of 4 years. We do have an opening as Mr. Patrick Pereira is not seeking a reappointment. So I do want to say openly that we thank Mr. Roy Patrick Pereira for his service on the Measure GG Committee. And I would look for a motion and a second to approve those appointments.
Moving those names with thanks for their continued service to Newark.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Jorgens. Second. By the Vice Mayor Little. Please vote. I thought it was me. And those pass unanimously.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Newark approving reappointments to the Senior Citizen Standing Advisory Committee and the Measure GG Oversight Committee.
So now I'll turn to my colleague, Councilmember Contancio, for council matter updates.
Yes. Thank you. I wanted to say that over this past weekend, it was a really great event that was held at our Newark Library. It was Mr. Lee, or Assemblymember Lee's, youth art contest. And so we had 60 students come in with their families, and it was really great in a standing room only. And all those students were really excited to be here. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Councilmember Jorgens.
Nothing for me this evening.
Councilmember Grindal.
Yes, wanted to indicate that I attended my first meeting in the Alameda County Housing Commission, and the most important thing that was done was a celebration of the 10 years that our mayor put in at that position. So I wanted to once again compliment him on such a long tenure and the work he did in that organization. In addition, we have coming up on the I've got the day. We have coming up soon. We all received a notification for the maybe you can help me out, Mr. City Manager, for the spring.
Family Day at the Park.
Family Day at the Park. It's on what day?
April 12th.
Saturday, April 12th.
Okay, April 12th. On the same day, the Newark Educational Foundation is putting on their spring showcase in the afternoon. So you can family day in the park in the morning and head on over to the high school and see some of the great things that are happening there. So sorry for not having that prepared, and thanks very much.
Vice Mayor Little.
Just wanted to say real quickly, I was part of the Newark softball opening this past Saturday, and it was fantastic.
Did
They
you throw out the first
I
pitch?
did not throw out the first pitch, but it was ridiculous amount of fun. The level of awesomeness. I want to do a big shout out to the Squishmallow squad. The cutest things. I've already asked for their uniform to wear to the next city council meeting. And the Southern Belles had a lot of attitude. So they were tons of fun. I had a great time. But most of all, it just shows that when people say something within the city, things get done. So a huge shout out to Recreation and Leisure Services. They were on fire. Thank you for Public Works. They did a great job putting all this together, and I really appreciate it. Our Pokemon Day was a big party. We had to make sure that I think we had 42 trades. 2 of them were a little bit conspicuous, so the cards were a lot more value than the other ones. So we had someone mediate it and make sure, keep an eye on the dirty trade. But it was a lot of fun, so that's what's going on with that. And I've got some other events coming up. Of course, Yo-Yo Day. The big Yo-Yo Day is coming up, and it's going to be the next Saturday, April 5th, from 1 to 4, once again at Stillman Center. Come out, it's free. Come out and have a good time, meet the San Francisco Spin Doctors. They're the professional league. They've competed in regionals, state, national, and international competitions. A couple of them just got back from Iceland competing. So big deal. Their careers have gone up and down, but it's definitely something to consider to come and joining. Thank you. You can come yo-yo with us.
I will. I want to extend a real appreciation to you, Mr. Benoon, and city staff. We heard loud and clear from the community about the need for softball fields for our girls. And we were able to put together a plan to establish that softball field fairly quickly. We, the city, took on the total cost to convert that field to meet the needs of our community. So real credit to you, and as the Vice Mayor mentioned, to all the park staff, public works staff, and any other folks that participated to make sure that the opening day was a real true success. The Vice Mayor had told me that she could fire a softball at about 78 miles an hour. I guess we didn't get a chance to see that day. But again, it just shows we may not be directly involved in providing the support that some of these teams and recreational needs are in the community, but if the need arises, we're certainly going to step up and see if we can solve the situation, and we did really great in that regard. So again, thank you for Assemblymember Lee holding the event here in the great city of Newark. He's a true partner to our city, and we always appreciate his support. So unless there's anything else, we are adjourned.